The biggest StarCraft 2 Team League. Team Liquid versus Offside Esports Round 2. I was matched with uThermal to do a best of 2 in this Team League, and I finally got to play him after a long while. I want to get some revenge because for the last times, I believe 10 to 11 times I did lose to uThermal, but of course then he retired, focused on some YouTube content and so on, but I wanted to get that elite Gulag points on him since he does have a lot of winning streak versus me in here. And uThermal is playing random. This map is post-youth, and I think I got a bit fortunate because in the format of this Team League, how it happens is that you get blindly matched on in the series, and you don't really get to know which map you're going to be playing on up until the opponent is actually known to you. So I didn't know I'm gonna be on post-youth, and it's fortunate for me simply because uThermal is playing as a random, and the post-youth is the map that allows me to go for the main ramp, wall off, no matter the race. It's good versus Terran, it's good versus Protoss, and it's good versus Zerg. So it was a fortunate map for me to play first map on, because the random advantage where you kind of like have to go on the low ground expansion in case uThermal gets Zerg doesn't really exist on this map. After scouting uThermal that he's Protoss, I was a bit happy because I feel like I should be the better Protoss versus Protoss player, and I did play versus him many times on the ladder, and a lot of the times I was able to catch him off guard, knowing the smallest of details in Protoss versus Protoss, and being able to capitalize on that. But on this map, I haven't really enjoyed PvP as much. I actually vetoed this map in Protoss versus Protoss, so I would say I wasn't particularly happy about this, but the fact that this is a PvP is good enough, and I should be able to overcome the just disliking of this map. I could see that uThermal is going for 1 gate expand just like I am. On this map, you cannot really go for 2 gate. It's very hard to break up Protoss with just a main ramp. You have to be extremely creative, and even if you're extremely creative, it's just easier for the 1 gate expander to defend this. So we both go for 1 gate expand, we both go for a Zealot, but I did manage to kill uThermal's probe with my Zealot, which gives me a slight advantage in the scouting department. That's for sure. I see exactly when the Nexus is going down, how many units he's going for. uThermal also did finish his pylon in my natural base, which makes him cost already 150 minerals, pretty much for the same information that I have right now. I do lose my probe, but I get to see that he's playing with a Stargate himself, with an Adept. I cancel the pylon in the natural to get the resources back, because uThermal was doing the same thing, so at least I want to get some resources advantage over him. I'm going for Phoenix as of this moment, expecting either an Oracle or a Phoenix from my opponent. Considering we both scouted each other's Stargates, it would be kinda silly for us to go for Oracles, but I never crossed that information because I was always expecting a possible Oracle. Now, since he didn't see the Adept, I wanted to shade in first to make sure that I at least see what Stargate unit that is, and I confirm this is a Stargate, sorry, this is a Phoenix. And I also confirm in the meantime that there's not going to be an Adept shade in my main base because I blocked it with a shield battery just in case he shades in, and there it is, there's the Adept. I shaded my first Adept back, and it actually survives the Phoenix lift, which is a big deal for me. I already got some economical damage to uThermal done, plus he also lost the pylons, right? The pylon in my natural base to block my expansion. I got additional probe, he lifts the Adept, the healthy Adept, which was a right call, but I still get a couple of probes here. I think in total maybe 3 to 4 probes went down to these Adepts, which gives me a slight advantage in this game, and I'm quite happy with this, especially since the second Adept, the red health Adept, survives, so at least I get some kind of vision of where the Phoenixes are going for. Maybe I can buy some time with that Adept later on. It's just an additional unit that I can use later on. In the meantime, I'm not the biggest fan of Phoenix versus Phoenix, so I decided to transition out of this. I don't feel really comfortable with this, I don't find it fun, and I like to play for fun, so I transition into the Blink and additional gateways. I see uThermal here with 4 Phoenixes, I only have 3 Phoenixes, but I do have a sentry here, and I don't have a battery ready. I'm not sure if we can win this fight, we're kind of like posturing with each other, but uThermal decides to dive in onto the Phoenixes. He loses one, I lose one as well, but he also does get his second Phoenix a bit damaged. I don't mind this trade for me whatsoever, because I'm not the one committing to the Phoenixes, and I am not supposed to be the one to keeping up the numbers up, so 1 Phoenix for 1 Phoenix here is good enough for me. I didn't lose any probes, fine with that. But what's bad for me is that he spots my transition very early on. He's not gonna be surprised by it. He spotted the Twilight Council and the additional gateway, and he knows that I will be transitioning out of the Phoenixes, so he has the full map control right now. I use the Sentry energy to use the hallucination to see what he's going for, if he's actually committing to more Phoenixes. What's happening here? I see more Chronobus on the Stargate, but it's only a single Stargate into a Robo, since he spotted the Twilight Council and the lack of additional Phoenixes for me. So I'm like, alright, it's time for me to get a third base, trying to do that. Try not to lose as many probes as possible. uThermal doesn't commit for the probes, and I'm quite happy about that. My blink is halfway done. I get 3 gateways, constant Stalker production. I need to make sure that I have constant Stalker production, because the Phoenixes, the moment that they fly in, they're very hard to kill with a low number of units, because they're very quick. They kill a probe and they dish out of there. So it's important to have a good Stalker number and the Phoenixes. I noticed this, the Phoenixes into my natural base, so I position my units properly as well. But now I know that my opponent doesn't have a lot of map presence on his side of the map, because the Phoenixes are nearby natural. So I used the Adept that survived not too long ago to check for his third base. Fortunate for me, there was a probe there, so I do delay his third base by a lot. And I know the exact timing of the third base right now as well. This Adept also forces the Phoenixes back, which I use to my advantage to move out across the map. And because right now, as I'm moving out, if it wasn't for this Adept, the Phoenixes would probably be on my middle line, killing probes, and it would delay my attack and make it less powerful. Plus, he would also immediately see the move out. So the small Adept that survived the early game actually is quite crucial as of this moment. I know there's going to be a one Immortal. The Phoenixes are on the other side of the map. I don't wait a second. I live the Immortal. I blink up, snipe the first Immortal. I see the recall on the Phoenixes. They don't have that much energy, but I decide to play it safe. Blink back because I see there's another fresh Immortal, and with the Phoenixes recalled back, I'm not sure if I have enough firepower to blink on top of the Immortal and snipe it, especially since I do have reinforcements. I know there's only one Immortal here, and now my hotkeys kind of messed up here. I don't get to target fire the Immortal immediately. I get full surround on the Stalkers with the probes. The Phoenixes lift my Stalkers, and I feel a bit uneasy right now, because this was very unclean what I did here. I did mess up this attack very much so, but at least I got to snipe the Immortal. But I see my Stalker numbers are dwindling. I didn't really snipe many Phoenixes, and there's another Immortal. Meanwhile, I also lost some probes to his Phoenixes on my side of the map. So my economy wasn't that great, but because he pulled his entire middle line to surround my Stalkers, I wasn't feeling that bad economic-wise. As of right now, I'm not sure if I can really break him. What am I supposed to do? I will try to continue poking with the Stalkers. I don't want to get my Stalkers lifted, really. I see there's like some sentries. I'm seeing 4 sentries and an Immortal, which is very confusing to me, because sentries are not the greatest fighting units. And I see right now the Phoenixes on this side of the map, on my side of the map. So what I use right now, I use the hallucination of the sentry to get high ground vision, and I immediately blink up, because uThermal was actually using sentries to deny my high ground vision. So the additional sentry here, the enough energy for hallucination, also saves me this game right now. I blink up, snipe the 2 Immortals, snipe a couple of sentries, force uThermal to pull his probes yet again, and I feel in a great position, because what uThermal only has right now is a bunch of sentries, which I blink up, snipe some of them, but there's another fresh Immortal, which I always have to respect. Snipe additional pylon, sniping some probes, but in the meantime uThermal is counterattacking with the Phoenixes, and he's lifting some of the probes. I will try to go for some High Templars right now, thinking that I can go up the ramp, prevent the Force Fields from blocking my units, and probably just go and win the game right here. As I have very good economy, trying to add additional gateways because my economy is looking good. So let's go up the ramp, try to snipe everything that I can here. But I see probes pulled preemptively. The sentries are actually destroying the Archon. There's a second Immortal. I'm like, holy crap, maybe this is not that great for me. Let's keep it calm and use the economical advantage that I have over uThermal right now. So I decide to recall my units, thinking that uThermal might not be watching for a split second, and he's not really paying attention. So I recall directly on top of the Phoenixes, and I snipe 2 of them, which is a very big deal. Now, even if there's some more consistent harassment with the Phoenixes, there's going to be just less probes for him to lift. I see he's pulling probes with like massive sentries and Immortals. I'm like, okay, this has to be a committed all-in as of right now, but I just lost my 4th gateway. That was proxied, and I was not able to pair up enough High Templars to make an Archon. And since I'm seeing him going for the middle of the map, I warp in 2 sentries, trying to catch him on this ramp if he decides to go up. But I say he's changing direction to the right side of the map, so I'm changing my direction of my army as well. I know this is a very easy hold for me if I just keep it calm and collected, but the sentries and the Immortals and the props can be dangerous. I see him walking out. That's a lot of sentries, lots of probes. Not real much firepower in here. So I try to take it calm and collected. Hold position my army. Don't attack into it too quickly. Making use some more force fields. I can always heal up my army with a super battery. Time is on my side in here. The longer this attack takes, the easier it is going to be for me. Because I have plenty of money to spend and my gateways are about to finish. Good force field by uThermal here. Despite me having Archons, the force fields were very annoying to play with. I manually use my Archon to break them, but I simply have too much army for him. I blink on top of the army and get a GG from uThermal. Game number 1 was a victory. Couple of small things really made me win this game. The hallucinated to Phoenix to get a high ground vision to blink on top of the Immortals, the one Adept. Just a couple of small details in Protoss versus Protoss win me game number 1. Game number 2 was on Alcyone, Alcyone, whatever you want to call it, and again, uThermal is spawning as random. Now, on this map, I am kind of forced to go on the low ground, and I was a bit uneasy, thinking how can uThermal abuse the fact that he's playing random. And I was thinking if he's probably a Terran, maybe he will do like a proxy Rax Reaper or something like that, which would be very strong because I have to go on the low ground with the gateway. If he was Zerg, maybe he would go for like a gold first or something. I'm not sure what he would do if he was a Protoss, maybe proxy gateways. I'm not sure what kind of cheese he's going to do, so I decided to go for immediate scout, of course, after the pylon to confirm what race I'm playing against. And I see another Protoss versus Protoss. And now this is not the best scenario to go for, you know, low ground expansion on one gate, but I've practiced this build enough recently that I felt quite confident with going with this. And I know uThermal is not a main Protoss player, so even if he decides to go for the game-breaking or one-gate expand-breaking builds, I'm not sure if he can execute them well enough as the main Protoss players do. So I was feeling confident I can probably hold it even if he decides to go for this one-base build. That was the mindset going for me. He's blocking my natural base. I'm trying to harass his middle line as much as possible. And at this point, I'm thinking he's going for 2-gate expand, but I see that cybernetic core is not there. There's no secondary gateway. Like, what is going on? Is he just late? I see his double gas. I was checking if he has a secondary pylon. He doesn't have a secondary pylon, so he just goes for a nexus. And as of this point, I'm like, okay, so he's not going to be trying to break me. He's looking for a macro game. But I've played versus MaxPax far too many times in this exact scenario when I'm trying to abuse MaxPax 1-gate expand. And I try to trick him while I get a faster nexus, but it doesn't really work that well in Protoss versus Protoss. And I kind of have a plan already what I want to do. I want to send this Zealot across the map with an Adept, pair it up with an Oracle later on, and do some harassment. So despite the faster nexus of my opponent, I at least have some kind of opportunity to deny that economy with an Adept, with a Zealot, and a future Oracle, because uThermal is going to be working only with a singular gateway, and he has to prepare defense on both middle lines, in the main base with a shield battery, and the natural base with potentially shield battery or stalkers or something like that. So my plan is right now to continue harassing no matter what happens, but I see a chrono boost out on the gateway. I'm thinking this is probably a sentry first to see exactly what I'm doing, maybe. I am using the Adept to snipe the probe for making sure that he doesn't see that I'm expanding behind this, or if I'm not expanding behind this, if I'm all-inning him or nothing. But I see it's a chrono boost at a stalker. He already has a stalker defending the first Zealot. I lose the probe. My Oracle is not even started building yet. I don't have a chrono boost on the Oracle. And I'm feeling a bit uneasy as of right now, thinking that maybe my plan is not going to work because I'm actually missing a chrono boost on my Oracle as of right now. So I go for the expansion, go for the secondary Adept. And I think despite my delayed Oracle by a bit, I think maybe I can surprise him with double Adept, because he will, of course, expect the first Adept since he spotted it with the probe in the middle of the map. But the second Adept and the Zealot might cause enough chaos that maybe the Oracle can kill some probes in the meantime, just cause some chaos to out-multitask my opponent as of this moment. I'm also worried that this could be a mind game from my opponent, going for like an expansion, but in the meantime it is, you know, like a hidden 4-gate or something like that. I had to be worried, but I see him scouting here with the first Stalker. I see only one Stalker here, a shield battery is building. Okay, let's snipe the probe, let's see how many units he has here, only a singular Stalker. So I go with the Adept for the probes, Zealot goes for the shield battery, and I go to the main base with one Oracle. I see only a single Stalker and a sentry there without a battery. I kind of fail my Oracle harass a bit. I only kill 2 probes, but this Adept already killed like around 4 probes, plus the Zealot is on top of the shield battery. Now he also has to pull probes from the natural a bit, so he's losing some mining time, but it's not for free, right? I also lost the double Adept. I'm about to lose my Zealot. The Oracle didn't do so much, but I have 2 Oracles right now, and 2 Oracles is enough to break through the defenses, even if they have a battery. So let's try what what I can do here. I see 1 stalker, 2 stalker. Okay, that's not enough. Let's kill some probes here. 1, 2, 3. Maybe a 4th one with a good micro. The good micro happens. That's additional 4 probes. I think total killed was like 8 to 9 probes, which already gives me at least an equalizer, despite having a later nexus. Plus, I also have these oracles to constantly harass my opponent for later stage of the game. So, as long as I keep my oracles alive, I'm fine in this game. My opponent has a little bit more stalkers as of right now, but because I destroyed so much of this economy, I'm feeling quite happy about my position. I'm only a bit afraid of a potential YOLO all-in counterattack, because my opponent had a faster Twilight Council and more units as of right now before I have my gateways and blinked on. So I'm trying to put a stasis ward in the middle of the map, potentially scouting for a move out or maybe trapping a couple of units, weakening the potential counterattack from my opponent. I have 4 gateways, 2 oracles. Things are looking very good for me. What I'll be trying to do right now is to get a 3rd base as soon as possible to get my economy going, but I'll also try to continuously warp in stalkers to make sure that I don't die for the potential counterattack, but also to see if I have a timing with my own blink, because the player with the double oracle most of the time has the control of the map, using the oracles to potentially harass the middle lines. You have to be, as a defender, so as uThermal, you have to be careful about all of your middle lines, all 3 of them, if you have a 3rd base. So I'm trying to keep him in the dark, not showing him that I'm moving out. I'm going with the oracles on the other side of the map. I'm sending the probe forward because I have enough stalkers with blink right now with the 4 gateway production, and let's try to do some pressure as of right now because my blink is about to finish. So I'm going to be regaining the map control because we both will be having blink. And now, if uThermal was playing the standard Protoss versus Protoss, he should be having a 3rd base as of right now, and I should be able to at least poke up the front and trade a bit with my superior stalker count, because he has to have some stalkers defending the oracles. So I'm using as much stalkers as possible to the front and oracle harassment in the meantime as I'm pressuring the front. So let's see what's happening here. Worst case scenario, I'll just blink back. I just blink forward. I see battery is not done yet. I snipe 1 stalker, 2 stalker, 3 stalkers. I see no blink, 4 stalkers. Okay, let's go with the oracles to the natural base at the same time. No stalkers there. I kill additional stalkers, target firing with my oracles, but now I see 3 stalkers all of a sudden appear in the natural, and I actually lose both oracles there. I tried to snipe the sentry, more stalkers, but like uThermal is defending, and I lost both of my oracles, and I'm feeling, okay, this is actually not good, because I did sacrifice my pro production for this pressure, and I lost both of my oracles. So now uThermal only can focus on one side of the things, but I did snipe a lot of the stalkers. So let's go for round number 2, blink forward, snipe the stalker, snipe another one, target firing the different ones. So it's very hard to for uThermal to blink back the ones that are actually being targeted. I snipe a good amount of stalkers, and I'm warping in yet again with the 4 gateways. And let's try to go for another round. I snipe a sentry pretty much for free here, out positioning my opponent. This is a good situation for me. Let's try to blink up yet again, trying to snipe some units, one-shot units, making sure that the battery doesn't see any play. He's warping stalker in my face. I blink forward. I snipe more stalkers. I would beat uThermal 2-0 in this match, and I'm quite happy about that. So after 11 winning streak, it's over. We finally beat him. But of course, he didn't get a Terran, so I'm still waiting for a rematch versus his Terran. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe, and let me know in the comment section how you enjoyed this video. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.